You said you don't like
Oh my god, this is great. This is scary. This is really scary.
that's very social media situation. That's the
I tried really hard.
That's just like a military movie. I can't help it. The never ending guns and never runs out of bullets. Yeah, it's like when they like bring stuff on like army stuff. I don't like the kind of huge explosions and like one piece of shit like for sure. Like a blast explosion stuff, I'm not sure. I don't see it. Yes, I'm not.
I'll watch TV and have like it's hard to tell because it's squares and lines and go the right way.
It's one of the worst I've seen put rank where it's blood stripes to landscape stripes. I've seen him put that on the screen. It's so programmed.
I just take your word for it.
Watching these
Okay, Vicky. Just like for like.
No, that's good.
Are you super excited? Are you well rested and prepared for this? I'm going to use big words. I will type that. This is Anthony. I'm sorry for your last name. Emerson. I look up. I'm very pleased with that interview. I think it's the first time that I've had an interview. I think it went really well. That's me. Yeah. Mostly like. Mostly the retirement incentives and how they transfer to there's no rent.
It's really to be persuaded.
Sorry. Have fun.
That's right, yeah. Hopefully the candidates are flashing out.
Insurance.
Yeah, somebody's gonna. Vice President, you see it glad whichever phrase you want.
Oh, yeah, that's true. How about if I only get
I'm not a simple.
Okay. I actually don't know how to use this. So, don't use that. Really? Google, how to use this. How to use ostensibly. Here, let me do this.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. I actually have Okay, well, there's right now. Engagement. On Friday. People know what I'm gonna say. So I mean, it was also like, here's the thing. Word now? Yeah. Right here, right now.
Learn that school spirit.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm so nervous. Right now.
I'm still gonna do a service.
You're going forward.
So David, he rewrote
And it's like so maybe you are a liar. I can find it. Also, I don't know if you know. But One Direction also actually fired. I know. So it There's yeah, I know. Wait, I'm probably gonna.
Just wanted to good progress. Yes, I'm gonna be sitting right there and I'll get through our figure out
What's that scene?
You asked that.
Keep going. Please. Please.
Can you say that?
I'm going to get this part one That'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Cider.
Pretty center shit. Yeah. There it goes here. Just,
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to tonight's debate. Thank you to our online viewers for tuning in. My name is Will Gaddis. I am one of the co-election commissioners this year for the student government elections. I am also vice chair of the Student Senate. The other co-election commissioner, Marfine Chan, is the other member of student government with the word vice in their title, vice student body president. We're really excited about student government elections this year. We've put a lot of work in. I think we got a pretty good website going, usmvotes.com, where everyone's going to go to vote on Monday. And, it wasn't until I joined student government that I realized its importance. Not the most important thing in the world, of course, but in addition to handling the hundreds of thousands of dollars that come in every year of student activity fee money and deciding how it's going to be spent, we really are the main line of communication between the student body and the school administration. And anyone who's running for the student body president position in any year is not signing up for something particularly easy. And to run for next year's student body president, well, we've all heard about what an interesting year it's been for USM. We've all heard about the direction package, the meetings that we've really had to have where we're deciding the direction that USM's going to go in. It had administrators, faculty, students, staff, all deciding where USM is going to go. And thus, I don't know what next year is going to be like at USM, but I do know it's going to be different. It's going to be a period of change. And whoever ends up being next year's student body president is going to be at the head of that. You are going to be the student body's representative to the people who need to hear what the student body has to say. And I think we got three great candidates here tonight. I'm going to introduce them to you. We got Aaron Carlson. We have Kyle Frazier. And we have Jordan Miles. And moderating the debate tonight will be Chris O'Connor.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to USM's version of Inside the Student Government Studio. Whoa, hello. I'm really honored to be asked to be the moderator tonight, and I've had the fortune of being the SGA advisor for the past 13 years. So I've seen many illustrious groups of students, and you guys stand out as one of the best in terms of it. It's wonderful to see three candidates here, and we wish you the best of luck. So both tonight and next week. Yes. So some guidelines for our discussion. We want to make sure, as we can see, this is much more of a forum as opposed to a debate. And so we want to make sure that we take a little bit of pressure off that. We've had a conversation with the candidates already. I'm going to ask the candidates to please be respectful of time tonight. Will, where is Will? Will is going to be our timekeeper. So we've got a 30-second warning and a please stop card. And I hope that I don't have to cut anyone off, so thank you. And I'm just going to ask everyone, remember that we're going to be civil with each other, and please be respectful of each other, as well as the audience. Please be respectful of our candidates. Whoever you're here to support, obviously support those, but please be civil with the rest. We're a pretty civil community, so I'm confident in our ability to do that. Our questions tonight, some questions have been prepared in advance. There are note cards over here somewhere. Yes? Chris, if you want to pass those around, there's some pencils too. We'll have the opportunity for one audience question and one, and hello to our Twitter, our video feed followers. You'll have the opportunity via Twitter also to ask a question if you'd like. So right next to your video feed, there's a link to our Twitter. Anyone who is tweeting tonight can use the hashtag USM Votes. So you can also submit a question online too. Let's see. Great. So a quick word about our structure. The candidates will start off with an opening statement. We've predetermined the order earlier. We've done that randomly, and the candidates have decided which way we're going. There'll be a round of general questions. We'll then ask a kind of a rapid-fire format for the candidates to share their opinions on the four referendum questions that are on this year's ballot, and then we'll end with closing statements. Not clothing statements. All right.
Wait, but I'm making a really good statement with these tights.
You are, yes. Everyone looks very dapper tonight. I like this. Good. So first, for our opening statements, each candidate will have 2 minutes. Will be Kyle.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank the audience for coming, and I would like to thank Chris for moderating, as well as the other candidates for being here. As we all know, this is going to be a very testing time for the University of Southern Maine next year. We've had a lot going on with the direction package, a lot of things like that. But I'm excited for the future of University of Southern Maine. I think there's a lot to be excited about. A lot of people are stressed, a lot of people are worried about the future, but I think we need a leader who's experienced. The experience that I have, in my experience on the student government, I have worked with the students as the Student Affairs Committee Chair, as well as my Vice President Rebecca, who is also on that committee. So I think that with that experience, I could lead this university to where we need to go. I want to be an ear for the students as well as a voice. And like I said, I'm excited for the university, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
Thank you, Kyle. Some more thunderous applause for Kyle. All right. Second will be Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and like Kyle said, the university it's heading towards a direction package. There's a lot of things to deal with, and I think a lot of times that the voice of the students does get lost. And like Kyle said again, I mean, the students need an ear, and the students need a voice, and they need someone to lead them. I've been working full-time since I was 16 years old. I'm putting myself through college. I'm working hard, and I'm really looking forward. I want to be a leader for the school, and I want to be a leader for the students.
And last will be Erin.
Oh God, public speaking. Hi. I'm going to give you some statistics that seem really irrelevant right now, but I'm going to tie them in, I promise. So I learned the other day, because I love reading the Pew Research Center's Tumblr, that the group of most educated demographically in the United States is black women. And just below that, the next statistic that they offered was that 51% of households headed by black women are live below the poverty line. What that means to me is a lot of things, but first, that education isn't necessarily the answer by itself. What needs to happen is community engagement through our educations, because that's how we change systems. And I think that university has a really great thing going in that we serve a really diverse population, particularly for Maine. And I think also that the way that we are going to change things is by engaging with each other and by saying hi to each other. This came up in the civility workshop that happened, I think, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I forget.
2 Fridays ago.
2 Fridays ago, thank you. But that people need to say hi to each other, and I think that that's what can happen here, and we can, as student body president, as a voice and an ear for our community, we get to say hi, and we get to encourage more people to say hi and to invest in our community and to be proud of where we come from, and that's what I want to happen at USM, and that's what I hope to do.
Thank you to all three of you. We're going to go into our general question round. And for these questions, you each will have 1.5 minutes to respond to the same question. So I'll ask the question. We're going to start with Erin and go down. The second question we'll start with Kyle. The third question we'll start with Jordan. Sound good? All right. What do you see as USM's greatest asset and greatest challenge?
It's student body. Like I said, it's really diverse, it's really strong, there's tons of intelligent people here. We have really great professors that engage with us and that encourage us to be critical and to use what we've learned and apply it in really useful and intelligent ways, which is a huge asset, particularly moving forward with the changes that are happening at the university. but it also can be a challenge to engage and to motivate and to encapsulate what all of that means for us. Yeah.
I certainly think that the students are a great asset to the university. As the direction package has said, we also need to embrace the fact that we are a metropolitan university, so I think our location is definitely a great asset. But certainly the students, we have a lot of brilliant students here. We have a lot of potential that is unmet, I think, currently. If I was to become a student body president, I would want to try to facilitate engagement into the community. It is already currently being done, but today with the day of service, we had students go out into the community, which kind of binds the students to the community as well as the university to the community. I think that's a great thing. It's hard to say what our greatest weakness is. With the direction package coming, we do know that we do have some weaknesses. We have budget, things like that, but a lot of that happens at the state level. So it's hard to really pinpoint what the university is doing. But I think the students are our greatest asset, and we need to utilize the students more and really give the students a voice at this university.
I think absolutely the students are the greatest aspect of the university. I mean, since I've come here, I've just met so many amazing people, and just an amazing community. It's diverse. It's just wonderful people. I think the greatest challenge is almost lack of involvement with the student, not even just student government. Just we have so many great organizations, and I just don't think the exposure is there. And I think every kid and every student that comes here has a place in this university, and I think they just need to find it, and I think they need help finding it.
Thank you. Our second question, and Kyle, you just referenced the direction package advisory board, and they've recommended that USM rebrand itself as Maine's Metropolitan University. Do you agree with this vision? If so, how might you help in implementing it? And if you don't agree with it, how might you modify that recommendation?
I personally think it's impossible to disagree with that notion. We are in the biggest city in our state, Portland. I think you could see with the day of service today, which my vice president candidate helped co-chair the committee of, we got to go out into the community and see like what's going on. We got to help the community, and everyone that I talked to, for example, I went to the Salvation Army earlier today. They were happy to have USM students there. They were happy to talk about USM, ask us like how our classes are going, things like that. So I think the community wants USM to be involved in it. I think by this direction package recommendation, this is the university's way of showing that we also want to embrace the Portland community. We need to not fight the fact that we're in the biggest city, but embrace it.
Absolutely. I mean, Portland is such a great area, and I think if the community actually saw the students that USM have, they would be more than proud and more than happy to have USM get more involved. And like Portland has so many great aspects. There's so many wonderful things to do, so many wonderful people to meet, so many wonderful people to help. And I think Portland would be more than happy to embrace the USM students helping out with that and being a part of it.
My turn? Sure. Yeah, I love Portland. It's, as far as I can tell, the coolest city to live in. Also, we're pretty. Didn't know if you know that, which is fun. Yeah, but Portland's a really powerful city, and Portland has a really earthy and intentional kind of feel about the organizations that are part of it, and I'm really excited to see what happens with the directions package and how it follows through on that commitment to be a metropolitan university and to engage in that community, because it sounds like a really great idea, but I don't know how the engaging the collaborative efforts is going to go, and I'm really excited to see what happens with that, because I think there's so much potential in Portland in that it's amazing. It's a beautiful city. Have you guys been outside? It's great. I love that.
I agree. It is a beautiful city. A little frozen over right now.
No, it's full of pretty.
Great. If we have questions in the audience, if you could pass them over this way, that way Marfine can collect them, we'd appreciate that. All right, and we'll check back too as we go through. Next question, Jordan. This one's for you first. What do you feel that the student body wants most in a student body president?
I think definitely the student body wants a face that they can trust and know that they can go to, and I think Kelsey did an amazing job with that. I didn't know really anything about student government when I first came here, and when I saw her. I mean, just opening up the community and a face that you can talk to, and like she said, at City University, having someone that you can go to as a student and know that they're listening to you as a student and they care about what you want and what you need. And I think that's the most important thing they could have is an ear and a face to go to.
Sassy tights. And also tenacity. I think that knowing that you have a representative that's willing to fight for you, that can hear you, that can understand where you're coming from, because we're all kind of in the same boat, but that's willing to advocate in that way to the powers that be, I think is a really important thing. That's what I would want.
I think the student body, they really need someone who can kind of view things on their level. Recently we had the civility workshop, and something that we learned was that even though everyone might seem like they have their differences, it is a lot easier to see that we all have similarities. At a very basic level, we can all see that we are all USM students. So with that, I mean, I think I can be a voice for them. As I said in the beginning, I think that the students don't only want a voice, but they want an ear. I think that it's important that not only do I just go about business if I was a student body president from what I see and say that I'm representing the student body, but that I actually take in what the students are saying, absorb that, and kind of give feedback to the administration, everyone that I need to talk to. In my experience on the Student Affairs Committee, it's been my job to go out to the students, get their opinions on things, kind of digest it, to see what the best way of going about finding solutions to their problems is. And I think that's exactly what the student body president needs to do, and I think that's what the students want.
Thank you. Aaron, we're going to come back to you. And now that you've thought about what the students want from you, I'm going to ask, if elected, what's the first thing that you would do as student body president?
Pick out a pretty outfit. Just kidding. First thing I would do as student body president, talk to everyone. I mean, I want to talk to everyone before I get elected too. But I think hearing as many different voices, because while we are USM students to the core, we're also really different, and we all have really different needs. And I think that the university, the student body, the Senate, all of the different organizations that exist here are able to meet those needs, but we need to know what those needs are. So figuring out the needs of the student body in the way that they can articulate them, I think is my first plan.
As I've said, as the Student Affairs Committee Chair, it's been my job to find the needs of the students. I think if I am to become the Student Body President, the first thing I would do is follow through. We have referendum questions coming up that we're going to discuss, but that is the easiest way to have the students voice their opinions, and based on those opinions, I want to see them through. Like I said, we'll discuss it later, but depending on what the students want, I think they need to not just have an opinion, but have their opinion matter and have something take place because of it. In my past experiences in student government, we've taken students' voices and just kind of been like, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll talk about it, but I don't want to talk anymore. I want to act. I think that's what the students need, and that's what I want to do for the students.
The first thing I would do is I want to make sure that everyone knows the president of the university as like a face and like as a friend to talk to, not as just like the president of student government. I want to be like a big part of the community. It's just that the students know they can come talk to and know that someone really cares about their opinion and their voice and getting things done for them. It really is about the students.
Thank you. I'm going to call on our accounting firm of Ernst & Chanberry. All right. Ooh, I have two questions here. Ooh. All right, one is an audience question, a live audience question. And we're going to start with Kyle this time. Thank you. Mm-hmm. If you are not elected, oh, this is interesting. If you are not elected, what will you do to continue to make change at USM?
My passion for the university isn't because I want to be the student body president. My passion for the university just exists. So regardless of whether or not I am student body president, I will continue to possibly take up a Senate seat if they're available. But no matter what, I don't think. Okay, so part of my campaign is student empowerment. Part of that is letting every student know that they have an opinion at this university that matters, whether or not they're in a powerful student government position or otherwise. So regardless if I'm student body president, if I'm a senator, if I am just a student at this university, I want to continue to advocate for the students and make sure that they have an opinion, we have an opinion, and that our opinions matter to the university.
I think I completely agree with Kyle there. If not elected, I'm so proud to be a Husky and to be like part of the USM community. I would just, if not elected, I'd just keep going forward with it and keep getting my name out there and talking to people. Like we have so many amazing people to meet. It seems like it never ends. Every time I go to a new class or every time I meet somebody new, it's just like such an amazing experience. Like I just love being a Husky.
So I currently work in the Center for Sexualities and Gender Diversity, and I expect, if I'm allowed back, that I will continue to work there. I really appreciate the amount of insight that I've gotten into the student body and what it means to be a part of USM from there. And I would like to hold as many fun things that we can do to celebrate the differences that we have here at USM and to engage as many people as possible, because I think the community that I've found here has been the most important part of my experience.
I had to find the on switch. All right, we're going to take a Twitter question.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2000.
Tweeting.
It's really to 2008 Twitter came around, but this is exciting for me. How do you plan on helping support Greek life and change students' perceptions on Greek organizations?
I think Greek life is actually a very important part of any college. I think it gives a lot of students a place that they need and a community that they love, a brotherhood. I know Kyle's in Phi Mu Delta, Marfine is in Phi Mu Delta. I mean, it gives them a brotherhood and as far as sororities, a sisterhood, and just an amazing group of friends that you really stick with for the rest of your life. And I think that the USM community should support that.
I'm not Greek. I think that there's an incredible value in brotherhood and sisterhood. I think it's really important, again, like I said, engaging in your community and finding a place where you really feel like you belong. And I think representing that in USM's community and even also outside of USM's community, but encouraging a sense of pride and encouraging a sense of purpose in all of those things by having reasons to do things at USM is probably what I would go for. Also, talking to other people that are Greek and finding out what those needs are and how we can apply those things.
Well, as they pointed out, I might have an unfair advantage because I am Greek. But I think something that not necessarily USM, but all universities across the country overlook is the partnership that can be had between Greeks and the university. I know in my fraternity and on the other fraternities and the sororities on this campus that we have a lot of student leaders and a lot of people who want to make a difference. I think there's a stigma against Greeks. I think but there are Greeks who are trying to fight that. So I just think that if the university takes a look at the good things that are happening in Greek life, try to make a partnership with those Greek organizations that are doing the good things, kind of highlight the good things, that will bring out more people wanting to be Greek, and it can be a great, we can do great fundraisers for the university, advocate for a lot of events. I know my fraternity, we ran a GEB event that happened at the beginning of the year, and we had great success. So I just think that having a partnership between the university rather than between the university and Greeks rather than having the Greeks constantly trying to go against the university. I don't want that perception anymore. I want Greeks and USM to have a partnership that can thrive for a long time to come.
Thank you, all three of you. You've all talked about hearing students and being available for students. What do you think the student body wants most from USM? And this one goes to Erin first.
I think it's hard for me to speak for all of the student body. I can speak from my experience and from the people that I have spent a lot of time with here. But I think that feeling like we've been heard by USM is a big part of it, especially earlier in the year when I'm in the social work department and we lost a couple of classes and they changed the structure of how it was going to work. It was incredibly frustrating to not feel like what was happening to me and the plans that I had made with my advisors and on my own, I felt like they didn't matter. And I think that we have worked through a lot of it and we've reconciled some things, but it's not perfect. And there's still a lot of things that need to be heard. And I think that that's what it is. I think feeling like you've been heard and that there's something to come out of that and what you've expressed is the most important part for student body. Maybe. Me.
Some people have heard me say it. I think that not only does the University of Southern Maine deserve a more passionate student, but oftentimes the students deserve a more passionate university. There are people here who really care. I mean, I've seen Joy work endlessly helping the students. I've seen Sarah, I've seen Chris, I've seen everyone work so hard. But oftentimes I think that the students don't see that. I think not only could things improve at the university, but I think that if students would open their eyes and see the great things that are already going on here, they would be very impressed. I think it's very easy for a lot of USM students to kind of not hate on the university, but have issues with what's going on. But I think that if the students truly open their eyes and see how many people truly care for them and advocate for them, they would be thrilled to go to this university. And I just think that, like I said, the students need to feel like the university cares about them in order for them to feel like they care about the university. And I think that if I become student body president, I could help mend the gap between the faculty and the students, or the administration and the students, and I think that that would help the whole university thrive at a whole another level.
I think absolutely the students want to come to school and have like a sense of purpose and a feeling that they belong there. I mean, students don't want to just come in and show up and go to class and then leave and go to class and then leave every day. It's the same thing. And I think if students come and open their eyes, like Kyle was saying, and look at all the amazing things that the school has to offer, and then they really will feel that sense of purpose and open their eyes to the amazing teachers, the amazing faculty, the administration. And I think once the students really feel their sense of purpose, that's all they really want from the university.
Thank you. Kyle, this one's for you and everyone else, but you first. This year, a sudden and unexpected situation arose within the student government and with student government entities needing to make quick decisions about budget cuts. Should one arise, how would you deal with a sudden, difficult situation within student government?
I would take a page out of President Dunham's playbook where she literally just was like, assemble everyone now. There was a meeting where everyone who had an opinion on budgets came, and we had to make the tough choices, but the choices that needed to be made. With that said, I hope if I become student body president that I would have, I would make it so that the treasurers of the various student government entities kind of talked a little bit more. Hopefully that would help. I think more cohesion within the student government would help us serve the student body a lot better. So I would try to avoid having this ever happen again, but if it did, I would just try to get everyone who has an opinion on the budgets together and have the tough talk about what's going to be cut and what needs to be funded, and I think that's really all you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, budget cuts will happen. The most important thing is to get everyone's opinion, and everyone's opinion does matter, and to work together with everyone and with the student body, especially because it's affecting them extremely. I mean, students are paying a lot of money to go here and to just get everyone's opinion and make the cuts, but make the cuts so they don't hurt everybody.
I'm going to offer basically the same answer because I think that those are both really good. Assemble the people that are invested and figure out how we can all work together to make it happen, because it's not a single cut, it's not a single sacrifice, it's a collaborative effort of everyone considering their own investment in the university and how they can contribute their share to what needs to happen.
This is impressive. I think we're very lucky to have all three of you with us. Marfine, we're going to ask for 2 more questions in a second, okay? Oh, do you have them? All right, we'll get them now.
Wow.
Ooh. All right. Let's see, Jordan, this next one's for you. This is from our live audience. Let's see. What experiences have you had to prepare you for the position of student body president?
I mean, as I said before, I've been working full time since I was 16. I think hard work and a hard work ethic is one of the greatest things that anybody can have in life, that the want to get things done, and also the sense of community that I fell in love with this school like my first semester, and like I just love being a part of it, and like Husky pride. Really, that's all I can say is just Husky pride and then hard work. That's what I want to bring.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What experiences have you had to prepare you for the position of student body president?
I feel like I've been leading a lot of things for a long time. I have a Girl Scout troop. I've been with them for 6 years, which is now officially more than half their lives, which is so exciting and so weird. But the way that I've seen them grow and seen the impacts that I can have on them and their ability to develop their own leadership skills and their own sense of awareness of their community and what needs to be done and their own sense of activism, which is, for better or for worse, mirrored my own sense of activism, and my ability to engage and promote and talk and talk and talk and critique things a lot, I think is what I need to be doing as student body president.
I am in various student groups at the university. I am the president of 2 of them, so I have leadership experience. Furthermore, I have been in the student government for over a year. After a semester of just being a regular commuter senator, I became the chair of the Student Affairs Committee, which I think is practice almost for becoming the student body president at a very small level. I know Kelsey is like, no, it's not even close. But as far as getting the student opinions, getting the student voice, hearing the student voice, and knowing what needs to be done, I have over a year of gathering that knowledge that I can just automatically, if I was to be elected, as soon as I become the president, I can already put those things that I already know to use. So I think that being the chair of the Student Affairs Committee has been a great growing experience and probably the greatest thing that I have to attribute to the student body president position.
Great. This next one is for Aaron first. Yes. And with that, the experiences that you just talked about, how do you think you could work to improve the student experience at USM?
I think that I didn't have to think about preparing that part of the sentence. I think that engagement, which is a running theme for a lot of us, is what is needed to improve the student body experience. But that comes in a lot of different forms. But I think you mentioned that there's so many clubs here and there's so many different organizations that you can be a part of, but people don't know about them. People aren't even aware. I didn't know what happened in the Woodbury Campus Center until this year, because people aren't talking about it, and the people that are invested here. I think that encouraging them to be more open and be more welcoming, and again saying hi and encouraging people to come in and join clubs, participate in student government. The day of service is an excellent opportunity for people to be invested and demonstrate how they care about the university, and I think that's it.
So I walked in this morning to the campus center, and I saw a gentleman dressed in the Champ costume. Champ is our mascot. He's a husky, and I was so excited. The fact that our mascot was out there, it was, people were proud of it. As the gentleman said, he hadn't seen anyone wave to him that wasn't smiling. I think that's exactly what the university needs. We need to see more Husky pride, as candidate Miles said. We need Husky pride. We need to be proud of where we go to school, proud that Champ is our mascot. We need to see USM everywhere. Support athletics. We have the #2 baseball team in the country, something that is often not considered or known even.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, great.
So I think we need to support that a little more. Just support athletics, support all the student groups, support Greek life, support every student here. Even if a student's not part of a student group, they need to feel like USM is their home and they can feel comfortable here. And I think that's something that is often overlooked and that we need to consider and just make every student feel like USM is home to them.
I think again, exposure is what we need the most. I mean, like I had said before, there's so many organizations and groups and sports teams, and I was reading the Free Press this morning. I got it this week, and we have a wrestler who's in the NCAA 6th seed in the championship, which is amazing. We had another wrestler mentioned in the New York Times, I think it was. It's just an amazing community, and you just don't hear about it. It's just you need so much more exposure to these people because it's just amazing. I realized I had one of those guys in my class, and I never even knew anything about it. And here he is in the New York Times, and I just think exposures would help so much with all these clubs and organizations and teams, and there's just so many amazing people here.
Great, and I'm gonna take some moderator liberty here and ask you a follow-up question because you've all touched on it a little bit. And one of the things about the wrestler that was mentioned in the New York Times, he's in his 50s, and when we think about our student body, we think about the fact that we have traditional age students right out of high school and folks who have been away from USM or from the academic environment for quite a while, students who have families. We have residential students, commuter students. So we've been talking a little bit about students in general. But I'm going to ask you, how would you approach your position differently with knowing that our student body is as diverse as it is, and that there's not necessarily a singular approach to any one of our campuses? So, and I believe that's Jordan first.
I think now that I know all these people that go to the university, nothing really, it doesn't surprise me anymore. It like builds my pride even more. Like I'm just so proud to go to school with these people and just be around them and to interact with them. Like about the wrestler. I mean, I wrestled all through high school, and high school wrestling is nothing like collegiate wrestling. And he has a whole family. He has kids he's providing for. He's going to school full time. He's going to law school after, I believe. I mean, that's just so amazing, and just nothing surprises me anymore. I'm just so proud to go to school with these people, and every time I turn a corner in the halls, it's just someone new to meet. I think it's amazing.
Say hi. I'm a non-traditional student myself, and I think, again, being involved in different community and student organizations where people, non-traditional students and traditional students and people from all different parts of everything can get together and communicate and share and engage in ways that are thoughtful and purposeful, which I think USM does a really good job at. But again, I don't think that enough people know about it, and I think that providing more opportunities to share what we're doing by saying hi and like, hi, I'm Erin, I'm a non-traditional student, let's talk. I think that's how you do it. Say hi. Say hi.
So when I filed my nomination papers, I filed my nomination papers to be the student body president, not the traditional student body president, not the non-traditional student body president, not the commuter student body president, the student body president. And I think that encompasses every student here, no matter what they belong to, no matter what. If you're a student at USM, I want to represent you. While I do know that might require different approaches to different students, I'm ready to do that. I am ready to do anything to represent any USM student. I just think it's important that no matter if you're traditional, non-traditional, you feel empowered at this university. Like the wrestler, I mean, people probably didn't think that he could do it, and he might have even questioned if he could do it, but the fact that he did it is incredible, and we need to embrace that at this university, which I think we are doing, because it's proof that if he did it, the university allowed for it, and it's great to know that we go to a university that allows for that, and I'm excited to continue that tradition, and I just think that we need to continue doing great things like we're already doing.
We have another audience question, a live audience question. Erin, this one's for you first. People have ideas that are sometimes definitionally mutually exclusive.
I don't know what that means.
Yes. The second part of it got. How will you defend and support opinions you disagree with?
Civility. recognizing that we all are different and that we all have different value systems and we have different priorities and we have different agendas is critical to making this university what it wants to be. We talk about engaging different student activities in different parts of the student body. We talk about engaging with Portland as a whole. We talk about engaging on different levels of the university. And I think the basic part of that is recognizing that we're all different and we have different perspectives, and there's value in every single perspective that is here at USM and within our community.
So I envisioned that if I became the student body president and a student came up to me and said, I have this. I'm not gonna this opinion. I'm not gonna say to them, oh well, what center do you hang out in at the Woodbury Campus Center? Oh, what do you believe politically? Oh, what is your faith? I'm gonna say, oh, you're a USM student. Let me help you. Let me do anything I can within my power to do what I can to take your initiative and make it go farther. Like I said, student empowerment. It doesn't, like I said, I signed up to be the student body president, not any special agenda president, not anything other ting the student body president. And if you are a student and you have an opinion, even if you're not a student, even if I'm walking around, if I'm walking around USM and someone comes up to me and has an opinion and says, you know what, USM could really use this, I'm going to be like, that's a good idea. Or I'm going to be like, that's a horrible idea. But if it's a good idea, I'm going to take it and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. Follow, like I said earlier. I think it's important that we don't just say, that's a good idea. We take their opinion and we move forward with it, no matter what they believe, no matter who they are. As long as they're a USM student, their opinion matters to me, and it should matter to the entire university.
Yeah, when I filed my papers, I wasn't thinking, oh, my opinions are greater than everybody else's. And I filed my papers because I wanted to make everyone else's opinions matter as well as my own, and to work together to build a community, because we have such a diverse population and a diverse campus, and it's illogical to think that everyone is going to have the same opinion, but that doesn't mean that everyone's opinion doesn't matter. Everyone's opinion is just as important as the next person's and the next student's.
Thank you. We have one final question in the formal question round. How do you feel the USM student government, yeah, Kyle, this is for you. How do you feel the USM student government can better serve the student body?
I think first, honestly, I say this after a year of experience, we need to take a look in the mirror. We have a lot of holes that I think we could fix within ourselves that would help us work more cohesively to help the student body. So I think that's where it starts. But I also think we need to have more outreach. I kind of feel like we've had student senate meetings where someone's been like, you got to approach a student. Everyone just looks at me like, oh, the student affairs committee has to do that. I think everyone on the student senate needs to have an approach that's going out to the students. I think the student government, because the SGA, a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people think the student government is just the Senate. The student government is all of its entities, the free press, the GEB, PEB, sorry, words and images, all those things. I think we need to work with those students to have community outreach, because a lot of people don't realize that they can get involved in the entities. I think, like I said, student government needs to take a look in the mirror, see how we can help fix ourselves, because I think if we had an ideally perfect run student government, we could help serve the students a lot better than we currently are.
I think, unfortunately, a lot of students come into school and they think student government, oh my god, politics, I don't want to get involved in that. And really, the student government, like the outreach, just the exposure needs to be there, because students should be getting involved. I mean, that's their future. That's my future. Like, that's why I care about this so deeply. I mean, USM is my future, and when I look at it, I want to have a good future here, and I want the students to have a good future here. So I think that involvement in student government, and I think students they have a bad feeling about it, but if they really saw all the good that they're doing and got more exposure, then they'd be a lot happier, and they'd be more likely to get involved.
The student government is intended to be a representation of the student body among itself and to other entities, and I think that we can't represent the student body fairly if we're not connecting with the student body. And I think that someone came around and did a survey a little while ago that asked if you know how many student senators we have, if you know any of the names of any of the student senators, and like a couple other questions, and the results of the survey were overwhelmingly like, I have no idea. And I think that as representatives of the student body, it's important for us to get our faces out and for us to say hi and go talk to people and find out what needs to happen and what kind of representation they are needing in the student government. And I think that once those voices are heard and once the student government representatives themselves feel empowered enough to advocate appropriately for the student body, that's how we get more efficient and effective.
Since we're running a little bit informally, well, this is pretty formal, but casually in a lounge setting, I'm going to allow for 2 more audience questions since they came in. We okay with that? All right.
Yeah.
Since they want to know. All right. You've talked about a lot of ideas and a lot of ways to connect with students. And one of the challenges is to actually, how do you get things done? How do you actually execute the ideas that you have? So we'll start with...
I don't remember. I ended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, right?
Yes. Jordan. Yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Jordan. Yes. How do you make things happen at USM?
I think that we need to stop just talking about going and hearing opinions and actually go out and hear opinions and sit down and say, okay, this needs to get done. You sit down with the Senate, you sit down with the student government, and you say, okay, we talked about it, we know their opinions, we need to get it done. We need to talk about it right now, and we need to get it done. You can't just keep putting it off and say you're going to talk about it. You sit down and you do it.
Planning parties, figuring out all of the different ways and the different factors that go into executing a plan and making sure that all of those, what's the expression, ducks in a row, right? Making sure all the ducks are in a row before you actually try to do something. Because if you're like, yeah, let's go do it, we're doing it, and then all of your ducks aren't in a row, it's just going to be chaos with ducks. And that's hard. It works, right? Yeah, planning and figuring out how all the different factors can go into the execution of a project or program or plan or whatever, and then do it. Making sure that we're set and ready before we actually do it is that.
I think it has. There's a lot of different things that need to be done. I think delegation is incredibly important. Not delegation in the sense of I don't want to do this, you do it, but delegation in the sense that we need to get a lot of people involved in having an opinion on a certain thing. So I think if one person hears a student concern and like bottles it up and doesn't say anything and just tries to do it themselves, it's really hard for one person to do something. So I think if you had like 5 or more people involved in something, everyone would be working and like seeing results. For example, we had the civility workshop. I was not able to make every meeting, but I did attend a few meetings on planning it. And I would say that it went incredibly well. I think we got a lot out of it. I think I have been a lot more friendly with, not that I was never unfriendly, but I have been, I have said hello, waved to more people in the campus center than I would have before because I just didn't know them. I think we need things like that. Something that is a concern for a lot of students is that they don't feel comfortable at USM, and I think that's a shame that students would come here and not feel comfortable. So because we knew that was a concern, the workshop happened. We had a lot of people invested. We had a committee. We had meetings. We made it happen, and it was great. So I just think delegation, hard work, and commitment will get things done.
Great, thank you. I'm going to ask a follow-up question because as the person who will serve as one of your advisors in this journey, you all missed a major piece of that question, and your answers were wonderful, and so there was no wrong answer. But from an advisor standpoint, I think Kelsey would support this. Is a major part of the way that you're going to need to get things done is working with the administration and looking to the people that make decisions that impact students. And student government makes a ton of decisions that impact students, but the relationship with the administration is key. So let me ask you about that. And Jordan, we're going to start back with you again and just go through the same cycle in terms of how do you see yourself building relationships and working with the administration, all the way up to, from Joy, all the way up to the president?
Absolutely, the administration. We already have such an amazing administration, but it is important to work with them. And as student body president, it is a big job where you're advocating for all these students, but you're also advocating the administration back to the students too, because it's important to keep like a good relationship. You know, it's just, I mean, it's very important to keep a good relationship with the students, but as well as the administration, because I think the administration, Joy, especially the president, you guys are amazing to the students, and I think the students need to see that.
As student body president, I think you're in a unique position where you have all of the anxieties and fears and concerns of the student body because you are the student body, but you also get the perspective of the administration that you get to interact with. And by networking and talking and communicating as effectively as possible, you can understand the position that the administration is in and the barriers that administration faces because it's a bureaucratic system, which is how we work. You get to understand how the concerns of the student body, because you have them, can be played out and can be altered or affected, or how they can collaborate when working with the administration because they have that part of the information that we don't necessarily experience.
I couldn't agree more with you, Chris, that working with the administration is incredibly important. That is something that I've had to do already as the chair of the Student Affairs Committee. I've had meetings with Dick Campbell, I've had meetings with Susan Campbell, I've had meetings with Joy, I've had meetings with numerous people who are there to help us, but they just need, I feel like oftentimes the students don't really want to listen to the administration, not because they don't care, but because they're just kind of like, oh, administration. I want to serve as not only as the voice for the students to the administration, but I want to be like a friendly face with the students. That if the administration has a point that they need to get to the students, tell me and I will make that happen. But I feel like I've already begun to build those relations with the administration, so that won't take too much time at all. And I'm excited at the opportunity, if I'm elected, to continue to build those relationships and work closely with the administration as well as the students.
Part 3. And I'm going to push you guys a little bit on this one because I think it's critical to the role and to student government. What happens when you don't agree with the administration? What happens when you're hearing from your peers that that there's something that the administration's doing, a decision that's been made, and if you can, give an example of something that you may have experience with as well. So Aaron, we'll come back and start with you on this one.
You talk it out. You really try to understand the different perspectives that you're straddled between, and you figure out ways to make it work. Sometimes it involves one party sucking it up and dealing. Sometimes there can be more progress made through the conflict that's happening. But you have to talk it out, and you have to approach it in a intelligent and respectful way where the like personal feelings that we have about the student body or whatever feelings the administration is feeling about how they're in a position, sometimes between a rock and a hard place, and figure out ways to collaborate.
Unfortunately, in my experiences, the student body doesn't want to suck it up and deal, and the administration just doesn't suck it up and deal. So I think, but because I am not the administration's representative of the student, I would be the student body president. It is my job to advocate for the students the farthest that I can. I mean, if I upset a couple of people in the administration along the way, I mean, I'm willing to take that hit. I mean, I feel passionately enough about the students to fight for what they want, regardless of if it's how I feel or if it's how the administration feels. If it's how they feel, I want to fight for it, even if it means that a couple people don't like me. So,
I think that as far as the students and the administration go, we really are all here for the same reason, and it's to better ourselves and to move on and go further in life. And I think that just communication between the students and the administration, and I can't think of a situation where at least some form of compromise can't be made, where obviously some people's opinions are, or some people will be a little unhappy, but I think that at least some form of compromise can be made in every situation.
Thank you for allowing me to push you guys a little bit. That's good. We're going to move into the referendum question rounds. And I said speed round earlier, but it doesn't need to be speed. But we do have 30 seconds. So you will only get the please stop sign. I haven't even been watching, Will, so you guys have been doing great. Okay, referendum question 1. We'll come back. Yeah, Kyle, this one's for you first. If possible, would you be in favor of extending library hours?
Yeah, I think if we could provide a safe environment for the students to study after hours, that would be awesome. I think if we look at the University of New England's model, they have extended their library hours to 24/5. They employ a lot of work-study students. I do know that we have a lot of students who have work-study hours but not work-study jobs. So if this could promote work-study job growth at the university, I think that would be great. So not only could we have more work-study job positions, we could also have a safer place for students to learn and continue to study after late hours.
Ooh. There's a beep too. I like that. Okay. Jordan.
Absolutely. I mean, extend the library hours. I can't tell you how many nights I've been in there and all of a sudden it's closed and you have to go. And that's like one of the most stressful feelings I've ever had, having to leave the library when I'm in the mid-studying. It's awful. But I mean, absolutely extend the hours. And
No. While it's a great idea for the university to be accessible 100% of the time to all of the student body, I think that it's fiscally irresponsible to extend that because it's not just finding employment or folks to work there, and we have work-study funds, so I'm not exactly sure how that works fiscally for the university, but it also involves keeping the building open and the cost of all of that. And I think that we're not in a position right now to expand. I think maybe next year. Let's hang out.
All right. Thank you. Jordan, question number 2 on the ballot is students currently pay a student activity fee of $19, $37, or $55 based upon course load to support various educational, cultural, and social activities. Would you be in favor of increasing those fees to $24, $42, and $60 respectively?
I think that's, I mean, a very tough question. Money is very tight for a lot of college kids, but for something like that, I think the students they'll be benefited from the extra money they're spending. They're going to get something out of it, so I think absolutely yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a small enough amount relative to the whole picture of the tuition that we pay that it makes a lot of sense to do that because the student activity fee in particular benefits the student body, and paying, you know, a cup of coffee to get more out of what you're doing here at the university is pretty cool.
A lot of students feel like we don't do a lot on campus, and I think that raising the student activity fee could be good. However, last year they voted it down, and this year it's on the ballot again in a different way, a dollar amount instead of a percentage. So I do see from the student government end how it could be beneficial. However, I think in the student government we need to take a look at how we spend the money, spend it more responsibly. Also, I think that, but if the students decided they didn't want it, I mean, I couldn't push it any further because that'd be 2 years in a row that they voted it down. So I see its benefits, but I also think that if the students really don't want it, then we can't push it any farther. Sorry.
Excellent. I get nervous as your voice gets faster. And anyone who missed the math on that, that's a $5 increase per fee, just so everyone knows. Question number 3, we'll start with Erin. If possible, would you be in favor of incorporating more organic and gluten-free foods on campus?
Yes. I love eating on campus, and it is hard. Particularly because it comes out of a place that is contracted out of the university. It's from Aramark, and we are able to make money off of those things. I don't know the exact numbers of how it balances, but I think that the math, I think, would work. And to provide food for students who spend a whole lot of time here that they can eat, yes, feed people.
I mean, it kind of seems like a no-brainer. I mean, one thing that I care about is student safety and the way they feel, and if they don't feel like they can safely eat on campus, I think that's a problem. I can tell you that whether or not I'm elected, if I am or if I'm the student affairs chair or if I'm the president, I will personally meet with Chris Kinney, the director of Aramark, as soon as the vote passes, because I assume it will pass. And I will talk to him about the most responsible and easiest way we can get this stuff on campus, on both campuses.
I have a hard time believing that anybody would really be against bringing in organic and gluten-free foods. I mean, some students actually are gluten-free and like they actually need options, and I just can't imagine anyone being against that. So.
Excellent. I'll move on to the next one. Kyle, question number 4 on the ballot. Are you in favor of adopting the changes to the governance documents? The governance documents are followed by Student Government Association the Faculty Senate, the Classified Senate, and Professional Staff Senate.
So as I see everyone look around like, what is he talking about? I suggest that you go read it. They're on the USM Votes website. But yeah, I'm in 100% in support of it. As I said before, I think the student government needs to do a lot to shore up the holes that we have within the student government. I think this would allow us to do that and better serve the student body in a quick way. So yeah, absolutely. Yes on 4.
Yeah, I was actually reading them over today, and I mean, I don't have time. I only have 30 seconds to explain it all, but I'm definitely in favor of it. I think everyone should go check out the website and definitely read about it. I think you'd be in favor of it too.
Yeah, from what I've heard, those documents haven't been updated in a very long time, and our government has progressed and positions have changed and been added and I imagine also subtracted maybe. But to have a document that governs all of those things that makes it legitimate and so there's a clear process for how things are supposed to work, I think is really important.
And you can all go to usmvotes.com. There's actually explanations of what those changes are that are there. So, all right, we're going to move into closing statements and wrap tonight up through our random draw out of a baseball helmet. Aaron is up first. 2 minutes, please.
I forgot to prepare the closing one. Nuts. I care a lot about the student body. I care a lot about USM. I care a lot about incorporating the student body into the whole of USM and making it as a productive a place as possible for everyone that's involved in it. Yeah, that's what I do.
Great. Kyle's next.
So ideally tonight, I hope that you've heard of my experience and everything that I have to offer the university, how passionate I am about the university and its students. So I hope that's something that you take with you from this, no matter which way you decide to vote. So just know that no matter what, I'm here for you as the student senator, as hopefully student body president, or as just a student, a friend, a peer. I'm here to be your voice and your ear. So if you ever need anything, come to me. I hope that you enjoyed yourselves tonight, and I look forward to hopefully being your student body president.
I think everyone can see. I mean, we have, well, I'd like to say 3 amazing candidates, including myself. But I think we're all a great group of people. I don't think really you can't go wrong wherever you vote. I'd like to bring hard work, dedication, and I mean, really, when I walk into school, like I'm very proud to be a Husky, and I want everyone to be proud. So.
Great. Thank you so much to all of our candidates. A round of applause. Kelsey, I think our future is in good hands. Yeah, that's great. I want to make sure to remind everyone that voting is important. Only undergraduate students who are registered in classes this semester can vote. So parents and family members and friends, I'm sorry, but voting, I actually have to verify all the votes, so we'll have to discount those votes. So I want to wish all of you the best of luck as you campaign your hearts out this next week. Remember, keep it civil. I have no doubt that you will. To our online viewers, if you're still there, thanks for joining us and submitting questions. And it's Friday night, so let's enjoy some more snacks and usmvotes.com. And thank you, two thank yous. One to our IT friends who have helped us tonight. And in particular to Will and Marfine. You've been working here. And we will all be nice to them because they make decisions about any issues that come up next week. So as our elections commissioners. But good luck. Vote once and once only. And thanks. Good night.
Hey, if I may, I think a big thank you to Chris O'Connor too.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. You're cool. I like you.
Great. Feel free to mingle and talk.